We're back with our demonstration of the Edwin Jagger synthetic brush and the process of breach mixing that is unique to method shaving. It's something that you really want to learn because it will facilitate the efficiency of your shave, its closeness, and its comfort, unlike anything else that we currently have. I have in the sink of hot water, I have my brush and I have my primer. The standard apparatus, the standard arrangement that we use in method shaving. Over here, I have a bottle of cutting balm and I have a bottle of activator, and I've got the paste. Now, the marvelous thing about this is, first of all, notice how small the brush is. This is a very small millimeter knot. It's about 2 inches high. It's a very small brush, but that is not going to stop us from building a very, very rich, emollient-rich, wet, consistent, excellent cutting mix. And to do that, we're going to go on ahead and prime it up. We're going to breach mix these agents here, and I'm going to show you exactly how this process works right now. We take our primer, the brush loads beautifully with water. I can feel the weight. You can see that it just loads beautifully. I don't know how Jagger was able to do this, but it's an absolutely extraordinary piece of equipment. I mean, it soaks, it holds water beautifully. Actually, I think superior to any other type of shaving brush, save a very large knot silver tip. And what we do is we just pick the brush up and we go on ahead in standard method fashion. You go on ahead and load your primer. All right. Those of you watching this know that this primer obviously is not a normal soap. It's one of the great French soaps that I sell here that need to come from Marseille. They're loaded with emollient and they conduct water perfectly. All right, notice what I'm doing is I'm rolling the primer as I always do. You want to roll it, and you're going to peek up a very, very beautiful head of mix. Okay, this is your basic primer. Now look at this. Okay, now a skilled method shaver could actually cut this probably without a lot of trouble. All right, notice there's your head and shoulders. There's your peak. And then you want to find that there's your head and shoulders, okay? There's the peak of your mix and the shoulders. We call that the head and shoulders in method shaving, all right? And I'm just kind of wet packing it right here against my heel. This is the wet packing process. Now notice your breach. There's your breach right there. See that? And I'm gonna take a little bit of water and drop it in there. Notice how that water tanks up beautifully in there. There's no leakage at all. Now the reason I'm pre-priming this is to prevent that leakage. So we have the priming mix real nicely packed in here. It's closed up the brush so that brush breach stays wet. You do not want that breach to go dry. That's what kills the brush. Then what I do is I go ahead, and the next thing is I take my activator and I just put 2-3 shots of activator in there. All right? And I come back and I hit my primer again. Now you'll notice this is starting to really go someplace. We're getting a real nice consistent volume now. We're volumizing our mix without adding water and sloshing it out. We don't want to wash out our mix. This is the next phase. All right. At this point, now what you will do is you will go and close your breach a little bit, get that head and shoulders going. Okay. You might want to put a little bit of water on there. All right, kind of tap it down, get it in there. All right, lock it up. Just get it up where the water and the head of the mix are right there, just at the top, at the surface, at the top of the crown. And then you want to go on and you're going to want to feed this up on your face directly. All right. I have not yet added cutting balm and paste. Do not do that. Do just the activator and the water. Now look how beautifully wet. And I'm going to roll this to show you. Look at this. Look how unbelievably wet this is. This is a beautiful, beautiful cutting mix. It's beautiful. It's wet. It flows like white lava, which is what it should do. It's ready to go. This will take a piece of steel and melt it. All right, so I'm going to load it back up in here. See that? Bingo. All right. I'm going to go ahead and feed this up. All right. And when I get done feeding it up, your brush or my brush is going to look something like that. The core mix that is wet, the stuff that you're going to cut, is now on my face. It's emptied the brush, okay? So what I do now, The breech is locked open, which is what you would expect because you've been pressurizing it against your face. See that? All right. There's your breech action. It's got a beautiful, beautiful breech action. It's got a nice piston action in the knot too, which I particularly like. I'm going to talk to Edwin Jagger about that, about how excellent that is. A beautiful piston action in that knot. All right. You've got a nice cut, nice deep well. It's as good as it can be. Those of you who talk about the glorious Shave Master and the fact that we don't have a brush like that anymore, well, I'm going to tell you something right now. My Shave Masters were a great brush, there's no question about it, but I'm going to tell you something, this is every bit as good a brush, every bit as good a brush, at a fraction of the cost of a Shave Master, at a fraction of the cost. The Jagger company has done a brilliant job of presenting to the world one of the great shaving brushes that I have seen in a generation. Now, you got your nice locked open breech. You're not drying. There's no cracking of the mix. It's nice and wet. Now I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to hit it with cutting balm. All right. There's my cutting balm. All right. I'm going to close it down slightly so that we don't get any runoff. Drop some water on there. Okay. Now I'm going to go back. Now I got water and cutting balm, and I'm going to go back now and I'm going to hit my brush. Hit my primer. Now, this is called sequencing when you do this, all right? Now, don't forget, now you've already got your primer up on your face. Now, look at this. Now, what we're doing is we're loading the brush with this beautiful emollient stock here. This is a cutting mix unlike anything you will ever see. This is, if you'll notice, if you can see this, I hope you can see this on the camera, on this video, rich beyond belief. Now, bear in mind that this is not soap, everybody. This is a beautiful, rich, full cutting mix. And I can take this thing and I can put a feather platinum to it or any blade you prefer, and I can cut this and I can make that steel dance off of this wet mix here. This is going to produce a fast, close, effortless substrate. It's loaded. You see how white it is? Well, that comes from the emollients in this mix, okay, and that cutting balm. That's where you get that nice white, creamy, excellent consistency. There's your hydrogenic sac. See, it's full of water, the very famous thing in method shaving. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on ahead, I'm going to open my breech right here, all right, I'm going to pop the breech open and just scoop it up, tighten it down, and put it up. Okay, all right, now, that's up on your face, okay? And what we're going to do is I'm just going to go on in, I'm going to dump this out. There's plenty more where that came from. I hate to do this. I should be cutting this right now on my face, but that's not the point of this particular video presentation. Now, I've loaded it up, okay? Now, I'm going to go one more time. I'm going to throw some water. You got to recharge the breech here. Tighten it down slightly. Go back. Hit your primer one more time. All right, you're going to reload it, remember, because you need to have that primer in there, okay? And then put it down. The last thing we're going to do is going to get your paste. Drop your paste right there. And this is, of course, your external secondary buffer. Now notice I'm not having to redouse the brush. I'm not having to tank it again. This brush is staying plenty wet. Of course, I've recharged it now, so it's doing beautifully. I've got enough wet mix up into the brush, and look at that. Look at that. That's just as beautiful as anything you'd see in shaving right there. Anything that you'll ever see in your life in the world of wet shaving. And look how that's knotted up there. That beautiful, beautiful, nice. Look at the peaks on that, okay? That is not soap, and that is not chemicals, everybody. The chemicals don't produce this. Petroleum-based shaving products don't produce that beautiful peak. See those peaks? All right? And that, you can cut that with a piece of glass. You can cut that, you can hold that blade in your fingertips and cut that, I think. I mean, now, what we're going to do, we're going to go on ahead, open it up just slightly, going to throw a little bit of water in there, just tighten that knot down. See, we call this choking the breech. You're going to choke that breech just slightly, and you're going to put that up, and you're done shaving in about 2 minutes.